Welcome back for another video. The bench boost chip is active for Gameweek 7. First of all, how did the wildcard get on last game week? Pretty good start, I'm relieved to say. 70 points all out, which was a green arrow. I was definitely carried by a few players, certainly. Like Haaland obviously left it very late. He just had the assist at 90 minutes, and then he got 2 goals in stoppage time. 16 pointer. I know lots of you triple captain as well. Fantastic decision, so well in if you did that. A lot of added time returns actually. Senesi with the assist, and he got Defcon again. The only defender with a 100% record having started all games. Semenyo with a free kick goal that game as well, and a huge 13 pointer from Gabriel scoring off that corner late against Newcastle for the winner. He got Defcon points and bonus for that. Those are the highlights. I mean, the low light was certainly Bruno missing the penalty. Could have been an absolutely spectacular week if he'd scored that. He would have got bonus points, but can't complain. Let's have a look at how you got on. FPL Luck, you might have to change username here. He says, the image speaks for itself. Foden triple captain, 3 points he got from Foden, and says, to top it all off, I brought in Bruno Fernandes from -4, so my net score was 26 points. FPL Tatiana says, finally a great week for me. She finished on 86 points after triple captain in Haaland, and got returns from Gabriel, Senesi, Semenyo and Paquetá. Låbakk says, a very bad start to this FPL season, and this week is the worst. This is up there as one of the roughest scores we've ever had sent in, but I do appreciate the submission. 14 points all out for Låbakk, not a single return, 14 points, and Captain Bruno as well for -2. It's not even a bad team either. Harry Carter says, generational bench of 40 points. 40 points bench, that is absolute pain. Gabriel's 13 bench, and Alderete's 17 bench for 30 points alone between them. And lastly, Malcolm, he says, not bad, first time this season with a decent score. I'm not sure what's up with the tiny players. Is this FPL for ants or something? 89 points Malcolm finished on anyway, nice work. Exciting update, introducing presets, which is a new feature on the Focal app and FPL page. So basically it's plug and play tables, there's no messing around. So for example, there's a preset here for Defcon beasts, whether that's midfielders or defenders. So you select that and boom, instant data there. So for example, we can see Senesi's best for Defcon per 90, 100% success rate. Midfielders, we've got Caicedo who's got the most per 90 and he's got a 67% success rate, top of all mids. We've got one called 4+ point, which measures basically which players have got the highest floor, like who's scoring 4+ points most frequently. It's actually Livramento who's top, obviously he's injured so we'll ignore him. Mukiele, Semenyo, Haaland, Xhaka, among those on 83% hit rate, 4 or more points. There's even more in there as well, and there's lots more that's going to be added. And if you'd like to support the project, it's only 58p per week, and that unlocks tons of exclusive premium features. It hides the ads, you can customise your dashboard, change the theme. FPL Focal in the App Store, or use the link in the description to get it. Let's get into the bench boost team for Gameweek 7 then, and starting in goal, it's my set and forget keeper. It's Raya, who's got a home fixture to West Ham. And that's Nuno's West Ham now obviously, and it's going to be a huge test for him this one. I mean, it's still far too early for Nuno to have implemented his philosophy or, drilled his tactics into players, but yeah, Arsenal's still huge favourites for this one, and hopefully no new manager bounce this week. I'm doubled up in defence, it's Vardiel, Gabriel and Senesi. So, looking at the Gameweek 7 clean sheet odds, Arsenal are top, 52% for them, which is comfortably top this week. The only team actually that are likely to keep one than not, according to the bookies. Aston Villa in second with 42% home to Burnley, Man United 38% home to Sunderland, and then we've got Newcastle 36%. Senesi's on 34% and Vardiel 32% for me. It's no secret that West Ham have been shocking at defending corners this season, and you can see it with the eye test, and the data backs it up as well. 26 headers conceded is more than any team this season. Arsenal the opposite end there, so can Gabriel do it again? Vardiel was withdrawn early against Burnley, but I think that was just rest more than anything. Only 0.41 expected goals conceded. That was the lowest of last game week, so it's quite disappointing to just get the 2 points, given the other option was Tarkowski lots of people went for, and he ended up on 1 point. Anthony just on fire at the moment, he scored Burnley's only goal there. We've got a lot of midweek football before the next deadline, so I'm going to be keeping a close eye on playing minutes, any injuries, etc. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Bournemouth are starting to look like this season's Forest, aren't they? Like a solid defence, but still having to make the defensive contributions. Senesi's 13.5 per 90, more than any defender. And his centre-back partner, Diakite, has also fared pretty well with 9.4 per 90. The default on the preset is set to players that have played more than 75% of games. If you bring it down to 60%, then you also include some players like Mukiele, who joined up a bit later. He wasn't in the game until Game Week 2, and he started for the first time Game Week 3. He's on 12.75 DCs per 90, which places him just behind Senesi, and that was why I picked him on the wildcard. That all said, Alderete is probably looking like the better option of the two now, after last game week, given he scored 10.9 per 90 for Alderete. In midfield, it's Ndiaye, Reinders, Bruno and Semenyo, and here's to hoping that Semenyo's performances carry on. It has been some overperformance. He's actually on 6 returns from 3.25 XGI, but yeah, I mean, he's got the free kick duties, penalty duties, which has just made him too good to ignore for me on the wildcard last week. Ndiaye somehow already feels like a bit of a weak spot in the team, but I mean, overall he's been great, so that's probably a bit harsh. Like, if I look elsewhere in the team, Raya and the defence more or less picked itself, besides, you know, Vardy versus Tarkowski. And then Reinders, Bruno, Semenyo were all auto picks for me on the wildcard, despite the fact that I know some of you don't like the Bruno pick. Death taxes and you guys having strong opinions of Bruno when he pops up in the Players Divide videos. I mean, the fact of the matter is with Bruno, there's the corners, the free kicks, probably still penalties, and even when he's playing as a deeper centre mid, his points per game actually haven't dropped, so you might be surprised by that stat, but it's true. I mean, had he buried one or even both of those penalties that he missed, it's a completely different story with him. Absolutely no plans to sell him right now personally. But yeah, going back to Ndiaye, so the one player I did look at on the wildcard was Enzo, and of course he went on to score, so early on a mistake, but we'll stick with Ndiaye for now. And in game week 8 I can bench him for stacks, so I don't really need to do anything with him for a couple of game weeks. As long as Reinders keeps starting week in week out, then yeah, he's a set and forget as well. We've fallen into traps before with City assets. Like, who remembers 4.5 mil Rico Lewis when he was getting starts and then suddenly he wasn't? It's definitely one I'll monitor when Marmoush and Cherky are both back in the picture. Cherky's still a few weeks away based on Pep's comments. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit subscribe. I'm here every day making free FPL videos for you to help guide your season, so hit the button below if you'd like to watch more. Let's get on to the front three, and it's João Pedro, Haaland and Gyökeres up front. A red card for João Pedro in the Champions League. And what is it with Chelsea and red cards this season? In fairness, this one wasn't a straight red, and if you watch the game, his first one was a bit soft, and the second one was a genuine challenge for the ball, but his foot was a little bit high, and therefore in literally the last minute of the game, the ref gave him a second yellow. So he's going to miss their next Champions League game. He won't be suspended for the Prem. So that's a rest for him between game week 8 and 9. So that's a nice rest before he's got Sunderland home. In other news midweek as well, Ekitike went off injured after stretching for the ball, but it looks like it might have been just cramp based on what he was saying. But Alisson did go off injured as well. He was forced off after going down to save an Osman shot. And Slot said the following: "It's not positive if he goes off like that, but he's definitely not going to play on Saturday," in reference to this gaming. So that's one, maybe two key players out for Liverpool's trip to Stamford Bridge next. Haaland captain this week, Bruno Weiss. I mean, when a player's in form like this, I'm just not going to get fancy of captaincy. He's got higher XG on his own than 11 teams have registered collectively this season. 8.9 expected goals conceded by Brentford this season, ranks 4th worst as well, so they've been a pretty weak defence. They've kept just one clean sheet and they've conceded 11 goals. 54 shots in the box conceded, ranks 4th worst by Brentford. So let's pull up the projected goals for Game Week 7. Arsenal top this week with 2.6 projected goals against West Ham. So I'm going to stay patient with Gyökeres, although he's not done much of note in terms of FPL points recently. Man United and Man City both on 2.1 projected goals. Of course, he bagged that brace against Leeds early in the season, Gyökeres, and perhaps he's going to be a sort of flat track bully type player that does well in these easier games that are coming up. The forwards feel a bit dead early on this season. I don't know if you guys feel the same. The midfielders and the defenders are where, for me, it feels like we're spoiled for choice, but in terms of strikers, less so. So let's talk through the bench boost decisions. So it's Dubravka who's got Villa away. I've got Stack home to Spurs, Anderson Bournemouth away, and Mukiele Man United away. I'm sitting on 3 free transfers, and I don't yet know when I'm actually going to need them, but if I can make those count when I spend them, that'll be huge. Not many managers are sitting on 3 or so transfers, broadly speaking, and the plan is to roll this week to take me up to 4. Now, I've got 0.3 million in the bank. If Alisson's out long term, I've actually got the money to sell Dubravka for Mamadashvili, though I'd still be bench boosting him away to Chelsea. The Gameweek 8 bench boost of him isn't really any better because Liverpool have got Man United home, but that week Burnley's got Leeds home, so I'd say Dubravka's equally, if not better, for clean sheet odds there. And the thing with Gameweek 8 is Anderson's got Arsenal and Dyer's got Man City, so that's not definitely better than this week in my opinion. It is one of those, the benches are really unpredictable and one could outscore the other significantly, but to me they feel pretty even. You might disagree with that though. I mean, who knows, I could also get a curveball over the international break, some injury as well. There is also Gameweek 9. That week, Anderson's got Newcastle away and Mukiele's got Chelsea away, so that's not that great either. I have seen Gameweek 8 and Gameweek 9 touted a lot, and I don't inherently have any big issues with those weeks. I just feel like the fixtures on the bench are similar difficulty to this week, and I'm a firm believer of playing what's in front of you when it comes to FPL. It's why I said in last week's videos, if you don't have a chip active and you've got the triple captain chip, play it now. Maybe Haaland will do better later in the season, but maybe he'll have played midweek before that fixture, which wasn't the case last week. Maybe he'll be rotated home to Leeds. Maybe Salah never becomes a triple captain option again. So the options later could be really slim. So yeah, play what's in front of you, and I'm going to bench boost in Gameweek 7. The other thing that I think many are overlooking, especially with Gameweek 9, is for all I know, I might want to sell Gyökeres or João Pedro to a 4.3 mil forward and then upgrade a midfielder to Palmer or Saka. I mean, they've both got incredible fixtures around them, Palmer and Saka, but that's going to be a non-starter if I want to bench boost in Gameweek 9, because you don't want to bench boost a non-playing third forward, do you? Would you bench boost this bench or would you save it? Let us know below, and let us know if you've got any chips active yourself. Hit that subscribe button for more FPL content to come before the next deadline. I'm here every day making videos for you, and it's free to subscribe. See you soon for the next one.